Okay, it's the springtime. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. I'll put winter back over here too so we can see it going around this way. But if you have a linear graph, it will go like that, but a circular graph will come around. So we've got spring, summer, autumn and winter. When the sun climbs up 23.5 degrees up to the Tropic of Cancer, that's midsummer. If you're in Italy, you're going to be on the beach. If you're down in Australia over here, it's freezing when the sun is on June the 21st. It's midwinter, but up there it's summer. So let's look at this from the north, okay? And then we will understand the whole science. So June the 21st is the solstice. Solstice, sol is the sun. Stitio means stand still. Why? Because the sun, as I said before, it travels 47 degrees on the horizon. That's 47 degrees from there to there. So you'll see the sun go from summer, autumn, winter, spring. Summer, autumn, winter, spring. As it hits the solstices, it appears to stop. The sun, you can watch it on the horizon. You can watch the sun go from summer to winter, whether you watch it rising or whether you watch it setting. You'll see this. It's always moving. It's walking on the water. When it sets on the water, it walks on the water. 47 degrees every year. When it's rising in the east, it rises, comes up out of the ocean. You see the fire coming up out of the ocean. That's the Jesus coming up out of the mare, in Latin, Maria. Jesus is born of Mary. The maritime, the marine, the JES in Hebrew is fire, the sun. So when the sun comes up and it's walking on water, that's Jesus walking on water. The Gospels are not literal. They are not literal. There is a literal component to the Gospels, but it's the bottommost level of interpretation. All sacred scriptures, all of them, they're all sealed with 7 seals, 7 levels of interpretation. The highest one is this, which I'm about to show you, because this leads to the mystical. Rather than being stuck in the literal paradigm, every hero is the sun, the giver of life. From this source and center of our solar system, we get 3 things. In every culture, it has always been recognized that the sun is responsible for 3 L's. Life, undoubtedly. Love, and light. And if you put an L on the front of them, the name of this is Helios in Greek, with an H. H-E-L, that E-L is going to pop up everywhere. Israel, angel, evangel, citadel, chapel, cathedral, Michael, Gabriel, Elohim, the elder in your church. L is everywhere, because it's Helios. This is the sun. And the science of the sun. In fact, first century Christians were called Heliognostics. Heliognostics means sun knowers. They were sun knowers. They knew the sun. They knew the science of the sun. And this is what we need to get back to. We really do. And you'll see this. It's beautiful knowledge. When the sun hits the Tropic of Cancer, it will be in there for 30 days. It'll also be in Leo next in July, August, and then Virgo. So, we've got Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Then the sun goes below the equator here. Bad. Remember? Evil, cold, winter, detriment. Now you've got to see this as a pulse. Believe you me, this is a pulse. Even though it's a cycle, it's back to the argument in quantum physics, particle or wave, particle or wave. Well, the planets are particles, but they produce waves. Saturn produces a wave of 29.5 years. That's how long it takes to go around the sun. So it just, it sends out that frequency every 30 years. Boom, a pulse. Jupiter goes around every 12 years. Boom, it's a 12-year pulse. And isn't that interesting? Because Jesus was 12 when he was in the temple, and he was 30 when he started his ministry, like every other hero, because you need the knowledge of the solar system. When you know the cycles of the solar system, you'll know why the Israelites were in the wilderness for 40 years. 40 comes to these 40 days. It's everywhere here. And all the festivals. All the nursery rhymes, poems, Humpty Dumpty, whatever you want, they're all here in this cycle of the sun. This is where the sun begins his journey. This is the start. In fact, March used to be called Primus. Primus. What does Primus mean? First. In fact, that's why September is over there. That means 7. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7. March has always been the first. March here, the 21st of March, the first degrees of Aries, is where we get right ascension. All right? If you know your astronomy, there's right ascension and declination. Right? That's the equivalent terms for latitude and longitude. Right ascension begins here. Longitude begins at Greenwich. We have to have some imaginary line. But latitude, this is the line for latitude. You go 23.5 degrees latitude, 23.5 degrees latitude south of the equator. So we know what latitude is. This is longitude. Well, this is where it all starts. In fact, this is spring. And the French call, and the Italians, I'm Italian, the Italian call spring primavera, because it's the start. Everything starts here. And as I will show you later, the head of the human being is here. The day starts here at 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 12 a.m., 6, 12. And the year starts here in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Because astrology is hidden in that. Astrology is based on this sine wave. Right? This is going to put together all the sciences. Not one will be left out. Mathematics, astrology, astronomy, the lot. Okay? Libra. Now I want to do another colour here, red, because that's the colour of autumn. The leaves turn red about here. So the sun is actually going through the Red Sea. This is also called Egypt. This is the promised land. This is the land flowing with milk and honey. This is Eden. This is out of Eden. Good, evil. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. These are the winter months. These are the good months. In fact, this corresponds to the Jewish candelabra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because the rulers inside there, the planets, all have a ruling body. Okay? So you see how I've done this in green? That's photosynthesis. Everything is green here. Okay? So this is what happens. The sun comes up, March the 21st. Aries, the lamb, spring. Taurus tells you, grab your bull, plough. This is the sign of fixed earth. All these signs have their elements. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. That's called a quadruplicity. In the Jewish system, or in theology, it's called the tetragrammaton. Tetra means the same thing, and it's actually the name, the Jewish name for God. Yod, He, Va, He, fire, earth, air, and water. That's what it is. That's Jehovah. That's who Jehovah is. The quadruplicity is the tetragrammaton. And then, of course, you have your modalities. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal is the start, fixed is the middle, mutable is the end. You know, an analogy would be you hop in a plane and you take off. That's the cardinal, the explosive energy to get those turbines going, to get that plane and all that weight up 9,000 metres, and then it coasts along. And it doesn't use much gas or fuel, but that coasting along would represent fixed. It's fixed. It's that element, that earth is fixed. The bull, plant, the ground. This is earth. Spring is earth. Spring is about earth. Summer is about fire. That's fixed fire. That's fixed earth. Over here, you have fixed water, Scorpio, and fixed air, Aquarius. Well, that also, air and water have the wintry qualities, as you will see. Once you start connecting a few of these things together. Mutable would be the jet coming down and it's changing. Or like when you turn your oven on to cook, you turn it on and the power to get up to cooking temperature. Then when it's fixed, you can cook. You can't cook when the temperature's going up and down. You'll know that, won't you? You can flatten a nice cake if you don't have a fixed temperature. And so that's what that is. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. That's the triplicity. So you've got a quadruplicity and a triplicity. That's the Trinity. And it corresponds to generation, operation, and dissolution. God. God is an acronym. It's not a title. And it's not the dude who sits on the throne and says, oh, your name's not in my book of life, so you can perhaps burn forever. It's not the case. That's what God is. He is the creator. In the Hindu, Krishna, Vishnu, is the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. Everything generates, is born. Everything does stuff, and then everything dissolves. This sun, the earth that we're on, our bodies, generated, come out of a womb, did stuff. I'm doing this presentation. One day, this body will not be around. The molecules will decompose, and they will go up. They go up. And all these elements that we have in our body, they are very light. In fact, hydrogen, the atomic value number is 1. Carbon is 6. 1, 6, 7, 8. These are the lighter elements, and we're made up 97% of these. Okay, back to the story. Gemini, the twins. Twin goats, twin lambs. Cancer, the sideways moving animal. It never walks in a straight line, because when the sun hits the Tropic of Cancer, it's got nowhere to go but sideways. It's all downhill from there. This is downhill. This is where the sun rules in his kingdom. In fact, he rules here in Leo, fixed fire. The sun, these 7, who are also the 7 days of the week, Sunday, Monday, the moon off the earth, Mercury's Tuesday, Venus is Friday, Venerdì, Mars is Martedì, Tuesday. Sorry, that was Mercury, excuse me, Mercoledì, Mercury, Wednesday. Jupiter, Thor, god of thunderbolts. And have you seen any Voyager images of Jupiter? It's thunderbolts. It's all electric. It's like a sun. It's a storm of electricity. It's havoc. Havoc. He just eats up all the asteroids and junk from outer space and protects us. That's what Jupiter does. But he is Thor, the god of thunder, because he's thunderous in electricity. Saturn is Saturn Day, Saturday. The 7 days of the week, you'll see how that all fits in together later, okay? But those planets have their ruling houses here. This is Mars, Venus, Mercury, the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Saturn, Jupiter. They're all there. The 7 are there because nature, to manifest physical forms, must have 7 energies. It must have 7. This is what a soul is. It's a compound. Spirit is a pure essence. Soul is a compound. It's made up of these 7 energies. Everywhere in the universe where there's material forms, these 7 appear. But all from the 12. They all come from the 12, from the ether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 signs. 12 different energies. Every year, every day, every hour, every minute, because it's all fractals. This is just a fractal of everything else that's going on in every part of the universe. Galaxies are doing it right down to the neutrino. These are the platonic solids. These shapes will fit into a sphere perfectly. There are no other shapes outside of this in the universe. Just these 5 shapes. The tetrahedron, the octahedron, the icosahedron, 20. Icosa in Greek is 20. Octa is 8. Tetra's 4, because it has 4 sides. Okay? Earth is hex, so it's just a square. Hex.